Hello, are you out there? It's Mark with Redo Over, and we are back. We skipped last weekend. I do apologize. I actually have one of my aunts had a pacemaker installed, and so I'm her nearest family. We've been spending a lot of time taking care of that, so everything just kind of went by the wayside. My wife is actually with her this weekend right now, so we're doing what we got to do. But that's life, taking care of folks that need help, and certainly wish her a recoveries. Uh, yeah. At any rate, it is what it is, and she'll be all right, I think. So, we're back. So quickly, the Davids, a couple of different Davids, on the comments. Two things that I thought were pretty interesting. All my playthroughs up to this point have been with a relatively small uh, galaxy size, a few sectors, smaller size, just because I'm trying to learn the game, get through games quickly, see different stuff. I haven't tried to take on a massive challenge, but I had made a comment a few times that food, I've never run out of food. I've never had to try and produce food. But one of the Davids jumped in and said, listen, when you're playing a long game, a large game where you're building up lots and lots of colonies, food can be a limiting resource. So from my point of view, playing just, I guess, at a shallow level into the game so far, I've never had an issue with food. But again, we have comments saying, no, if you play long enough into a large galaxy, food will be an issue. So I just want to say, yeah, you guys may notice a different experience as you get to that. Another David stated, and I thought this was quite interesting, that in the case of, say, a system like this where you've got a couple amazing worlds, 2 or 3 of them right next to each other, David was saying, yeah, you go in, you you colonize as many of these amazing worlds in a single system as you can. Then you put a governor into each of those worlds, making core worlds out of all of them. But on the 1 or 2 that are less desirable, you build up the production rapidly. You build those buildings and get those hammers up. Then, after a year or 2 of doing this, you pull the governors out, reverting those core worlds back to colonies, but the buildings persist. As far as David can tell, he is letting me know that, yes, in fact, all the improvements you do on a world persist, even if you downgrade it from a core world to a colony. And again, what a colony you can't click into. Like, for instance, this is a core world. I can click into it, see the hexes, see the populations, see the buildings. But a colony is like Kratos 5 here. It's a little poor world. When I double click on it, nothing happens. All I get is this little pop-out box. And all I can do is provide it with some orbitals. So he's saying, yeah, you take those amazing possible core worlds, you get the right buildings on them, then you demote them by taking the governor away, demote them back to colonies, and have, say, Kratos 4 here feed all that production, research, influence, economy into Kratos 2's inputs. So potential strategy there that we haven't toyed with, but I think it's a valuable one that could be really, really valuable. Not just on a massive galaxy play, but even on a much smaller one where you're only going to have a handful of core worlds. Focusing in and funneling in the right inputs lets you focus less attention and resources into building up 1 or 2 really powerful core worlds that are being fed by all the input colonies, asteroid belts, and everything else. So we left off, we were in a little bit of a race for construction ships, because I see we have a couple of antimatters up here. We have an ascension crystal we could harvest. We have a durantium right here. And then, Illyrium, antimatter. Yeah, we want to get those for ourselves. So let's jump to our Starbase tab. Constructors in 4 turns. Perfect. That's no problem. We also just started or will start Harmony Crystal production. That's coming from Alula Borealis. Let's click in here. Where are we getting that? Right here? Yeah, it's actually done. Harmony Crystal Extractor is built. These rare and beautiful crystals resonate with a gentle hum. So maintenance cost is 1. Harmony crystals are going to be coming out at 1/10 per turn. I'm only scratching my head right now because I don't actually see the Harmony Crystal strategic resource at the top anywhere. So, question? It's there, it's built, and it gets a plus 5% approval. It's a great structure. So, let's just see what happens. Yeah, I see over here as well. The status report is showing that. But we have 0. Maybe we just need to give it 1 turn. But I'm expecting to start harvesting those. And another thing to check in here at Lula Borealis 2, we're at 18%. This colony is in rebellion. This is a Taurian colony. They colonized in our space. That was extremely stupid of them. And they will suffer the ultimate consequence by us influencing their people with our Big Macs and rock and roll music. And they will flip to our side eventually. So 18%, and we're rocking a 1.8 Terran influence, 1.8 times multiplier, I guess. So awesome. I like that. We got some events coming up here, folks. The Independence, one of our ships, has a survey report. The ancient artifact. Your fleet stumbles upon an ancient artifact floating in the depths of space. Its origin is unknown. It is made of a strange metal our scientists call durantium. The purpose of this artifact is lost to time, but we can still make use of its raw materials. Yes, please, cut that sucker up and let's take the good stuff. Harvest the artifact's energy and other vital juices, gaining a valuable resource, 1 durantium. Oh, all right. Got some ships idle. What do we got here? The Independence, just finished that up. Small frigate flagship. You can see her experience, by the way, is sitting at 12 of 14. She's at 2nd level. So another artifact or more, or a little combat, would probably push her up there. So, yeah, let's just scoot her to the artifact or the artifact. They're both good. Yeah, where we go. We'll just send her out. That's fine. She'll have that in 5 months, and we're ready to advance the turn. Yeah, I think we're good to go on the turn here. Sorry, is this... I don't... Just FYI, I don't make my hair do like the little Superman flip thing. It just does it. Because, it's like I'm balding slowly. My hair's retreating off my head. But I grow a little extra on the front. It's like, hey, come on. It's like, I want to look like some hair. But then it just falls. It does that. I don't do it. I don't style my freaking hair. Okay? Just... Here we go. Event popped up. Situation report. Mysterious Zendar relics. While exploring an asteroid belt, our archaeologists stumbled upon an ancient base belonging to an enigmatic but now extinct Zendar race. The base is filled with advanced technology that could potentially accelerate our research efforts significantly. However, we don't fully understand all the tech. So our options are: integrate the Zendar technology into our research projects. The Zendar technology has been assimilated into our research networks, providing an instant surge in scientific understanding. So that would help fill up the bar on precursor archaeology up here. And I see that we have 4 months remaining, so we could probably benefit greatly. That's probably like 80, 60 research. I say that because rough estimate on your research month, by the way, our total is plus 19 per month. So if we have 4 months remaining, that is roughly 4 times 20, about 80. So yeah, we'll see how much we could get. Otherwise, we leave the Zendar artifact untouched. I'm not sure exactly why you would do that. We have decided not to disturb the ancient Zendar relic. The secrets of the base will remain a mystery for now. It's possible by leaving that, it could flag something in the game to give you an event in the future. I think there have been a few things where I've been like, oh, just let it go to the depths of time, and then nothing happens. So I'm gonna take the research here, folks. We'll click that, and that actually works. So we knew we needed about 80 research. It completely pushed through. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna pay attention to the research progress bar on the next technology we take, because it's very possible that not only did we get 80, but maybe we got 100 total, and that 20 research would then fall over into the next technology. We'll know if that's the case because the progress bar will be partially filled. So we'll try and pay close attention to that. But here we go. Research completed, precursor archaeology. The beginnings The beings, known as precursors, have littered the galaxy with runes of one kind or another. We can find some way to more methodically analyze these runes. We should be able to discover far more of their maker's secrets. So we are going to unlock Orbital Precursor Nanites as well as Ancient Studies Center. Let's just hover over this. Orbital Precursor Nanites. The tiny machines increase overall planetary production. So this is a satellite, an orbital, one of the gears with the plus, on a world that has precursor nanites. Presumably this is a structure we can now build to harvest precursor nanites. We'll look into that. I actually think Alula Borealis 2, the Taurian world, has precursor nanites, I think. And then we also got Ancient Studies Center. Increases bonuses from relics. Awesome. So this would be a starbase module to improve our starbases. For one Promethean and one module, we can get a plus 0.05 harvesting. Bear in mind, usually by default, again, we get 0.1. So a 0.05 is a 50% bonus to a 0.1. So we'll go to 1.15 instead of 0.1. Yeah, okay. So it's significant. Even though it's a very small number, it is a significant increase to what we're already harvesting, a 50% increase. Okay. Ascension +2. And by that, I think the Ascension, I believe, is working towards an Ascension victory, if I'm not mistaken, which comes into play up here. Your little trophy. This is your path to winning the game via Ascension. Meaning if you just do enough cool stuff, you make enough structures, you're advanced enough in enough technologies and pathways, you win by sheer coolness, as opposed to a military or diplomatic victory. So, there you go. I'll take it. And that unlocks precursor studies. Very cool. So, choose a new research. And again, we want to see if we get a little overflow into that. So we have defensive studies queued up, xenomanufacturing, or terraforming. Quite a few options over on the side here. FYI, I moved my face box up to this area. I'm certainly open to suggestions for anyone who feels if there's a better place for it. I mean, I like to have my face somewhere on it just because of just pure vanity, but no, I don't know exactly where to put the face box. I've noticed, depending on what I'm talking about, it covers different stuff. But this seems like the most harmless place I've been able to find, given all the windows possible. So it'll live here until I hear otherwise from you guys. But defensive studies gives us a lot of stuff. A couple of policies, some additional starbase mods, obviously ship equipment, plus flat bonuses to armor and shield strength, just a flat +1. I think it automatically goes on your ships. So that's not bad. Xenomanufacturing is going to get us the Durantium processor and upgrade manufacturing. What is that, a building? What? I only asked the little blue spark thing. That means a building. Yes. Interesting. And upgrade manufacturing. Yeah, that's the blanket to all the manufacturing on your world if you click that improvement. So the blue symbol is buildings. I have no idea why a blue starburst is a building, but it is. Okay. Am I going to use the Durantium processor? I say that because the Durantium processor doesn't actually give us Durantium. It uses a little Durantium, then it gives you 1 extra mineral and a bunch of extra pollution. Plus some... Don't want that so much. Terraforming. What's that going to get us? Planetary Recycling Center, terraforming module, or upgrade agriculture. We certainly don't have food needs right now. A little pollution mitigation. I'm going to go with xenomanufacturing for now. Sorry, I know that took a long time to make that choice. And, in fact, you can see our progress bar did fill up a skosh. So I'm guessing xenomanufacturing is sitting at about 100 right now. If we go back into it, we can see 62. It's interesting. 19. Gosh, I don't see how that could take that long. Oh, I guess it said it's down to 3 months. So yeah, sure. It was probably around 80 to start with. The word 62 remaining? Question mark. I'll try not to overthink it. Here we go. Event time. TSA Victory 1 survey report. Scrap dealer. An alien calling itself a Snathy is already here picking through the remains of the debris field. His drones zip back and forth between the floating scrap, quickly disassembling parts. There doesn't seem to be anything of real value among the scrap, but the Snathy's drone carrier bay would make an effective ship upgrade for our ships. What are your orders? So we could offer the scrapper a fair deal for the drones, but we don't have 300 credits, unfortunately. So that's grayed out, not an option. Offer the scrap dealer a not so fair price on the drones. So persuasion ability check, 31% chance of success, +1 to persuasion. And would we get the drone bay carrier? It doesn't say. Question. I would guess yes. I'm guessing if you succeed at the 31% chance of success, which isn't very good, 1/3 chance, we would get the drone carrier bay. We'll take these drones for free. Intimidation check, 20% chance of success, +1 to intimidation. Oh gosh. I would love to just buy them outright. I don't want to be an asshole though. And we're bad at persuasion and intimidation. Let's offer him a less fair. We'll see what happens. Presumably next month something will click up. Okay. Ship idle somewhere. Here we go. This is the TSA Victory, our small little ship. +1 missile attack per level. She's got a little bit of firepower, but she's tiny. Let's see. She has an upgrade ready. Antimatter warhead. Communications terminal, increased scanning range. It's such a small sector of the galaxy. I don't know that we need a whole lot of sensor range. Command bridge would give her a little more movement, sure. And crew quarters would give hit points. Let's do that. Let's get those hit points. So we're going to go from 18 to 21. She's got a long road ahead of her. Otherwise, though, we can send her out to investigate. What? Should we go steal some stuff from other folks? Leave our stuff? Yeah, let's do that. All right, situation report. Incoming message from the navigators. Salutations, travelers. Please let us proceed with opening conversational maneuvers. Very well. Same back to you. Open trade. What the hell are you? Yeah, we'll say very well. Same back to you. So we've discovered the navigators. And they are... Where exactly? Let's see, what do we got? That is Torian. That's an artifact. Not exactly sure where the navigators are popping in here. There we go. Right here, this probe. Is there a second sector? Maybe there is a second sector of the galaxy. Here we go. Torians are on top. Terrans, the navigators, the Yor. So we're sitting in a pretty good spot. We're first in influence. We're first in BC Galacto credit production. And we're first in approval. Second in research. Third in manufacturing and military. Now bear in mind, there's only 4 species so far. So being third in those means we're in the lower half. All right. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the navigators have some star system over here. I really can't remember if when we set this up a couple months ago, if we only have one sector or if we did a binary sector. Can't remember. I'm not going to sweat it too much. A couple things I wanted to look at, though. Nanite precursors. So, yes, Alula Borealis 2 does have nanite precursors. So, if and when we get that colony, we should be able to harvest those with that recent technology we picked up. So I like that, and we are just waiting for instructors to finish. Yeah, I think so. Okay. We got another event. Situation report, scrap dealer failure. The Snathy didn't like our not-so-fair offer. Our captain invites the Snathy aboard for dinner and drinks, but the drinks don't make the scrap dealer more pliable, only aggressive. Drinks can do that sometimes. There you go. Before the night is done, he has offended 3 of our crew and left a stench in one of the ship's toilets. Witnesses describe as a mix-up between rotting corpse and nutmeg. There you go. No deal is made for the drones, and it isn't until after he leaves that we notice a few bottles of Arnor rum have gone missing. That son of a beep. Well, he was a guest. No effect. All right. There you go. Next turn. Zoom out a little bit here. I see there's a probe down in our space. That is a Taurian probe. Now, our probe is cutting across your space, so that'll give us a little bit of an insight as to what they've got going on over there. I see they've got aim at harvesting. I'm curious as to what other resources they've got in there. Let's advance another turn. Nothing else needs to be addressed right now. What is this down here? A little purple your ship. That is just a probe, though. Should not be a problem for us. I always keep an eye out for constructors and for colony ships. And I would highly recommend you do that as well. Now, anytime there's an enemy fleet, they'll stack ships and you will get this here, this number. Anytime you see a floating white number, whether it's a 2, 3, whatever it is, that means that's how many ships are there. So pay attention to that. That could be an invasion fleet. Siege ships along with other ships. One individual ship, I don't really treat as a threat, but yeah, a fleet coming in on you. Although, to be fair, this is 5 very tiny ships. We know that because it says hull size is tiny and their total combined health is 15 of 15. I'm not going to sweat that right now. But yeah, with any luck, they'll let our probe through there. We do have an event that just popped up. Let's take a look. Your flagship discovers an enigmatic monolith floating in space, emitting a mysterious energy that seems to resonate with the crew's thoughts. Studying the monolith provides a temporary boost to the crew's problem-solving abilities. Gain a one-time burst of knowledge. 10% research needed for current research center project. Oh, shit. Ooh, wait. 10% is not much. Hold on. So check this out. We're going to decide later. We're going to keep this. We're not going to click that. There's no decision to be made, but we're just not going to click the button and harvest that sweet, sweet research. Let's go up to Xeno Manufacturing. So FYI, 62 is the total research you need to do. So 10% of that would be 6 research. Cool. Looks like we're going to complete it next turn no matter what. But we could come over here and choose the most expensive precursor studies, sitting at 327. Hit done. Because 10% of that is 32.7. It's a lot more than 6. This may be overthinking it, but why not? Okay, ship idle. This is the Discovery. And she just completed researching something, yes. Medium flagship. Was it just saying she was sitting idle? I'm a little confused. Or is this ship? Victory's going? I don't know. Okay, hold on. Let's just send her here to research. No, not quite there. She'll get there soon. And she has, she's gained experience. She's now at level 3. Let's click on her. So this is a big ship. This is a ship where it's probably worth building up her military capabilities. So again, I'm not so worried about sensor range. I'm not so worried about movement speed. But like, yeah, aim at warhead, +2 missile. Yeah, let's keep doing it. And we should see this 9 pop up to an 11. There it is. She's pack a little bit of punch. She doesn't have much in the way of defense, to be honest, like no defense. But there may be modules we can do in the future to improve that. But in general, if she carries a big stick and she can take a punch because of her high health, she could be a decent warship. No, I know she's going to that space junk anomaly. Where is the Victory going to? Exactly seen. I don't want to go there. That is a heavily defended precursor anomaly. They would probably destroy the Victory. So where's the Victory going? Over here? Sure. We're going to shoot her across Taurian space and try and grab up these anomalies on that side. Now, let's go to our planets tab real quickly. We have 4 core worlds, 2 colonies, and a couple of uncolonized planets. Artemis is poor, and Kratos 3 is poor. We definitely are going to want to get colony ships built and turn those in. Here's Artemis, right? So yeah, that would feed into Earth. And Kratos 4 is right here. and would feed into probably Kratos 2. It's the closest. But we don't have colony ships going. Let's just jump into the forge real quickly. Supply ship next in line, and then the Stargazer. We've been sitting on the Stargazer for a while. Let's shift over to our next shipyard with the arrow key. Constructor and constructor. It's a little bit of a trade-off. I would consider those potential colony worlds safe because they're deep within our sphere of influence. Listen, they're going to provide production, research, income, influence, and food potentially. Like, they're a really good get. To build a single, relatively cheap colony ship, load one of our precious pops onto it, and get it to these colonies, feeding in, we do want to do that. We don't want to forestall that to any great length. However, these constructor ships, which we use to build Starbases, we want to get out there because there is a very limited amount of strategic resource out here in the galaxy. You can see the Yor control a couple of antimatters. You can see the Taurians have... No, they don't have anything. I think we stole the Prometheans. It's limited. That's my point. We've rushed ahead as much as we can to get these Prometheans. So that's why we're building constructors instead of colony bases. Because I want to snag these antimatters in this Illyrium and these other ones. You guys get the drill. We will get those colony worlds colonized in the coming year. Okay? Event. Here we go. TSA Discovery Survey Report. Igmatic. Is that how we say it? Oh, God. There's an E in. I would say Igmatic. But there's an N in there. Igmatic. I didn't know there was an N in the word enigmatic, but there is. Okay, fine. I won't overthink it. Your flagship discovers an enigmatic monolith floating in space, emitting a mysterious energy that seems to resonate with the crew's thoughts. Studying the monolith provides a temporary boost to the crew's problem-solving abilities. Did we just do that? Whoa. Oh, ha. That's because we delayed that. We're going to say yes. And there you go. Look at our little thing filled up a little bit. And now when we go in, we got a whole bunch of that research. Now, to be fair, if you look here, precursor studies has its progress bar filled right to the P here. You see this shaded area? You'll also notice up here on xenomanufacturing, the progress bar is filled to right here. You guys can see that little color difference. These other progress bars aren't full. So what that means is that, yes, you can take a research project, set it aside, and dump research into something else when you want to. You're not going to lose that research. Now, I don't need precursor studies right now, nor do I want to spend the next 14 turns working on it when we have other much closer technology. So we're going to jump back to xenomanufacturing, and we will have it shortly, and you can see the precursor studies progress bar is where it's at. We didn't lose it. Okay, so yeah, let's advance the turn. I see some ships moving through our space, your ship and Taurian ships. Xenomanufacturing just completed. We got the Durantium processor, which again, we've said, yeah, it gives us manufacturing, it gives us a lot of pollution. We may only build this on really production-heavy worlds. Secondly, we got the just flat out mineral upgrade, which we're probably going to do across all of our colonies that have at least 2 or 3 production hexes built up. Choose new tech. Awesome. Space doctrine, terraforming, we already looked at. Subspace streaming. Now, I believe subspace streaming is primarily, increases ship range, increases the movement rate. Subspace stream travel, that is what would allow us to move from this sector via subspace stream, a line to another sector. We haven't found that yet. But also, what's deep space sensor? It's a module that can go on our ships for cost and mass, but it yields a +6 to sensor range. That's a significant, big boost to sensor range. Is that automatically put on all ships? Or is it only put on new ships we built? I am not sure. Probably it'll get snapped into new ship construction, but I don't think it's retroactive. Yeah. And then there's Space Doctrine. So unlocks frigate class ships and the ability for ships and starbases to auto volley. Okay, not exactly sure what that is. That just gives us a siege model. Siege ships are critical for conquering alien planets that are inhabited. You're essentially bombarding the world. Most warships and probe ships and everything else in the game are suitable for ship-to-ship combat, space naval combat, but they're not designed to bombard a planet specifically. Siege ships, though, will come out with no ship-to-ship capabilities. They'll have hit points, but they'll have no attack capability, but a high planetary bombardment score. So you throw a couple of those in with your war fleet, you can conquer a planet that way. You get them to surrender, essentially. But yeah, I like the frigate module. I like the siege module. I like the hull size small up from tiny. I think we're at tiny right now. Starship specifications policy and max enacted policies +1. That gives us a whole new policy slot. So that is the one I want. So I'm going to select Space Doctrine. We'll hit done. And our policy slots are here. You can see we've only unlocked 2 of the 7 total. So yeah, it wouldn't hurt to have that extra policy slot. Now, a couple things popped up. 3 new strategic resources at the Galactic Bazaar. They are precursor nanites, Tekapod Hive, and Heliosaur. Interestingly, I can't recall off the top of my head what Heliosaur is for. Pretty limited use. Tekapod Hive, though, specifically is used on starbase improvements. In general, mining, harvesting resources. So you have a single starbase out there that's harvesting 2 Promethean, and maybe you add a mining module for a starbase mod, and now you've gone from 0.1 to 0.2, and you're getting that 0.2 on both your Promethean. There is a specific add-on for TechPod that gives you, I think, a 0.2 by itself. So you get that. So you add a Starbase module plus a TechPod Hive, and that one Starbase will go from a 0.2 harvesting to a 0.4 harvesting. And on a Starbase like this one right here, Chara, that could take us up to well over 1 Promethean per month coming from that one Starbase. So do I have the TechPod technology yet? I'm not certain. But you sit there and go, well, why would I ever buy a TechPod Hive for 97 credits? Well, if I could bump up this Starbase from 0.4 yield to 0.8 yield, I could be getting Prometheans every 2 months. That could easily on the market pay back us that 97 credit very, very quickly. So let's do this. We know it's here. Let's click off. It's here for a little bit at least. Let's zoom in to the Chara Starbase. Double click. Ho, we do have the technology. Tekapod mining unit. It costs 1 module and 1 Tekapod, which we don't have. You can see it's red there. The -1 is red, meaning that we don't have it. But it will yield a mining of plus 0.2. Over here, we're at 0.2. So it essentially is a 100% increase to the output of this mining base. That's massive. Can I afford? Can I afford it? Can I afford not to? That's the question. No, yeah, let's do it. I rarely buy resources, but I think that could really pay us back. Let's do it. Let's buy one. Boom, we did it. We spent our 97. Do we have any other double Starbases? I can tell. I'm on the Starbase tab, and I'm looking at Chara. Chara is yielding 0.4. I'm going to go to Ptolemy, 0.2. Deep Space, 0.2. Kratos, 0.1. So yeah, of all the places I could put this tech pod, the single one I purchased, any of these 4 Starbases would be suitable to make the improvement, but it'll consume the tech pod. Well, of all of mine, Chara is by far the most valuable. So let's do it. Boom. We've got the module. We've got the tech pod. Build it. There you go. Massive boost. This means every other turn, every other month, we will producing 1.5 Promethean. Love it. That'll pay itself back very quickly. Yeah, an event. Have our constructors finished yet? I feel like they should be done soon. Kratos 2 Planet Report. The Criminal Syndicate. Intelligence reports reveal the presence of a sophisticated criminal syndicate on your planet, Kratos 2. They're called the Zilrathi Syndicate, and they have offered a share of their profits in exchange for turning a blind eye. Alternatively, we could restore order by shutting down their operations. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. They're coming to the government, to the governor, we'll say. So, accept the syndicate's offer and covertly benefit from their underground activities. So, the syndicate's wealth flows into our coffers. Their illicit activities a shadow boon to our economy. +2 wealth. Now, that's just on Kratos 2. That's not going to be +2 wealth on all your core systems. But we are sitting at a +14 right now, monthly, for our whole civilization. So it's not inconsiderable, but it's not that valuable. If we were strapped for cash, if we were at 0 growth on our income per month, or at a -1, or if we were tight on money, I would be like, shit, bite the bullet. But we're not. +14's pretty good income. What's the other option? Deploy security forces and dismantle the criminal network and establish law and order. The syndicate has been eradicated. Peace and stability have returned to Kratos 2, bolstering the citizens' faith in our governments. +50% approval for 12 months? Holy cows. It's interesting because over here on the syndicate offer to work with them, it doesn't say how much extra criminality it'll yield. I presume it's going to make the criminality go up by 5 or 10%. Permanently. Let's do this. Let's decide later. It's behind my face box. I'm going to hit that option. And here's what we want to go. Here's what we want to do. Go to Kratos 2. We haven't looked at our worlds in a while. Let's jump in. Kratos 2 is sitting at 8% crime. That's not bad. It's not particularly high. I think that eats into maybe our income a little bit. Yeah, it's a straight -8% to income generation. You got to consider that. I mean, that's 8% on the 7.3%. Okay. Does crime affect research? No. Does crime affect manufacturing? No. Does crime affect food? No. And finally, influence? No. So far as I can tell, crime reduces the income of our colony as well as making it more likely to produce new citizens as criminals. Interesting. So crime can spread, which in turn raises crime. Citizens will also suffer an approval penalty if crime is too high. So let's just take a look at the approval for our one citizen here. She does not seem to have any complaints about the crime rate at this moment. So, interesting. I'll tell you what, though. We've been looking at crime and income, but approval. The approval on this colony is shit. We're at 42%. That's a massive impact to our production and our research. We consider this planet's approval as moderate, which is causing negative effects on the population. To increase approval, specialize some citizens into entertainers and build more approval improvements or Starbase modules. I'm not exactly sure what Starbase modules will do for our approval. Okay, whatever. But yeah, if we look down at our manufacturing, it's straight multiplied by 41. It's just a 41% multiplier. And our research, same thing. Bear in mind, approval doesn't affect income, food, or influence. But production and research are really important. So I want the 50% to approval. So when it comes back up, that's what we're going to take. We have an idle constructor. Oh, excellent. Our constructor's just wrapped up. Let's take care of business. The event down there is going to wait. So we have to be pretty strategic about this, folks. We have a single constructor and a second constructor. Now, this constructor is going to be better suited by racing off towards either this Illyrium or this double antimatter. Let's send it for the double antimatter. Where did I grab it? Hold on. She's got 8 moves. Click. Nope. Click. Nope. Click. 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 Hold on. Selecting her. So this has come up in comments, FYI. Some people have had a bit of trouble selecting a ship that has movement and is not able to move it. Now, in this case, there's a black hole. And I believe a lot of this area around the black hole is non-navigable. Possibly anywhere in the blue. I don't know. I think there's a technology that allows you to move through nebula, possibly black hole accretion disk uninhibited. So let's try this. I've selected the damn constructor. Can I get it here? Yes. So in that case, the reason I duplicated what other people have talked about in the comments saying, hey, why is this happening? And I'm like, well, I get a very similar response, but only when I'm clicking around the accretion disk of a black hole. I was, in fact, able to click the ship and move her on the way towards those AMATs. So if she gets there in time, sweet. I'm not exactly sure how long. 4, 5, 6, 7 turns away. It's going to be a long journey. If not, we'll have her double back and get the Ascension Crystal, or maybe come back here for the Solarium. So, on our side now, down here, we have this constructor. We have a double spot here for these two, and we have the Durantium. I'm nervous. I don't want to lose this Durantium. But I don't want to lose this double. We're going to go for the double first, because you should always choose the most strategic research first. That makes strategic sense. So, yes. Here we go. You're going to scoot a boot right on over here, and that ship will be there very quickly. Now, our Starbase is building a supply ship for, I don't exactly remember. And this Starbase is working on another constructor. So the final constructor is going to be for the Durantium deposit right there. That should more or less cover most of our needs. Listen, I see an Illyrium over here in this cloud. I see an Illyrium here. Oh shit, we don't have Illyrium yet. Well, we will. We'll get this one. Okay. Let's go into our main planets, because again, we have certainly been neglecting that. Alula Borealis has quite a bit of production in the works here. Manufacturing districts coming on. The shipyard's going to get completed, and then improvements to the manufacturing. Yeah, and the reason why is there's almost the manufacturing's pathetic here. So we need to build that up. Nothing we can do for Alula Borealis 3 for the time being. Let's jump to Earth. This is our home world. They have a decent amount of production, research. Everything's in the double digits, so this is a pretty solid colony. Now over here, I noticed there are manufacturing and research district improvements we could do. Now, the manufacturing would just yield these two. So that would get us a +2 over here. Not bad. Approval's moderate at 65%. And I see that we are, in fact, working on a galactic achievement, first and foremost. Yeah, I want to get that Eye of the Universe done. Bear in mind, on any galactic achievement, you oftentimes are in a race with other species to get those built. So when the supply ship is done, we're going to dump it right onto this, most likely. That's most likely what we'll do. But while we're looking, we want to just check here. Beacon of Babylon requires 3 Harmony Crystals, and we are just starting to slowly harvest those. If we get a chance to buy them, we might buy them sooner, but yeah. What else do we have? Razor's Rift takes Durantium. We're slowly getting that. That's a big manufacturing boon. Really is. Big one. But you want to save that for a manufacturing-heavy planet. I don't know the Earth is that. Let's keep going. Durantium processor. We're not worried about. Khazar's mainframe. This takes the Promethium and the hypersilicates. That's a big get. We've got Promethium, but we have no hypersilicates. This is why you need credits. Having 500, 1,000, 1,500 credits in your piggy bank at all times is really helpful, so that when hypersilicates pop up on the Galactic Bazaar, on the market, or Harmony Crystals pop up on the market, you can buy what you need. You buy them 3 at a time usually, and then you have them. What else we got? That's a civilization. Kimberly's Refuge. This would take 1 Monsadium, which we have. We actually have it. So we could start on that galactic achievement. We want to probably save that. It's a food and a growth achievement. Maybe that goes on Earth. Possible. I could see plopping this down right here on this giant mushroom thing. And, I mean, that would be a great spot for it, potentially. Or this fertile valley, also, +3 food. So we have a couple really nice spots that we could put that. What else do we have? Technological capital can wait. Supply depot can wait. Industrial center can wait. Planetary generator, coordination beacon, and capital mainframe. All those can wait. Now, capital mainframe presumably would go on your research world, whereas something like the Kimberly's Refuge would go on your food production world. Yeah, see, a lot of these are civilization achievements, meaning you only get one of them. I would actually take the technological capital and put it on the same world as the capital mainframe. One planet only, but I'd put them both together so you synergize that research. Coordination beacon should go on your influence world. Okay, well, we've looked at that. These are good things to be working on, so we don't have to worry about Earth. Let's jump to our next one. Kratos 4 is working very hard on production. Now, this, it looks like we've got production, bunch of production here. This could definitely become our production world, which would be a great place to build the lift. The Razor's lift, wherever the hell it is. You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's going to go here. And then, nextly, Kratos 2. Kratos 2, what are we doing with this place? It's a little inhospitable. As you look around, there's like a lot of lava fields. It's like, yeah, we're not good at food. We're not good at research. Primarily that. It's definitely not going to be a research or a farming world. So yeah, a little limited. A little limited on what we could do there. I could see production. Maybe a touch of wealth. We could work on a bit of wealth. Sure. A little bit of food there. A little bit of tourism. Okay. I'm not going to worry about it too much. I do want that shipyard done, though. One thing that I've come to understand about the game is that because shipyards, the amount of military is what you feed to a shipyard. So let's jump to a planet here with a shipyard. Boom, boom. Here we go. This number this is a military symbol. Your military symbol of 12.3 usually is equivalent to the manufacturing 12.3. But it doesn't draw away. If we send 12.3 military up to the shipyard in orbit, it does not steal from the 12.3 production on the planet. But it is extra production. It's twice the production. So a shipyard is not something you should let sit for years on end, because you're leaving a massive amount of production on the table if you're not taking advantage of that military. It functionally doubles your manufacturing. And you may say, well, I don't need 5 shipyards. My Navy's big enough. I don't want to have 20 ships. I don't need more colonies. I've colonized everything. I've constructed everything. I don't really need more ships. There's a lot you could do on a shipyard that is not building ships. If we double click here, you can see that as of right now, we can already produce Starbase modules. So rather than having a planet build a module, I can just have my shipyard build Starbase modules for those tech pod hive improvements and all the other improvements our Starbases need. So that's the reason we want the military production from the planet to be going up to the shipyard. This is why we want to have a shipyard for every core world in all cases. You never want to skip it. What else could we work on? Some crazy treasure hunt. It costs 300 hammers, but it will go find valuable artifacts. Sure. I guess that just gives you an anomaly discovery. I'm not exactly sure what it does. Or a research mission, which nearly as I can tell, yeah, it's going to cost 200 construction and a Promethean. You burn it up and you get research. Yeah, you just dump research. So there's a couple of other things you'll get under these missions and other goods, but you can build damn near anything on a shipyard. So yeah, get your shipyards built sooner rather than later. The one world that we have out of the 4 where I'd be like a shipyard doesn't matter yet is Alula Borealis 3, because they have so little production. But everywhere else, it's going to be a huge benefit to us. So yeah. All right, let's jump back to our event we've been waiting on. Yes, we want to get rid of the criminal syndicate. We want that plus 50% approval for 12 months. Yes, please. And can we see that immediately? What was that? Kratos 2? Jump in. Not yet. Okay. We'll also see if our crime rate goes down from 8%. Didn't say it would, but it might. All right, we're hitting the turn. And I see a couple little ships floating around. Just always watching for ships moving through our territory. We're back to our turn. Awesome. Let's jump back into Kratos 2. I wanted to just check. Crime rate didn't budge. Approval didn't budge. What? Dang it. It was Kratos 2, wasn't it? I'm a little frustrated. I almost wonder if because this is always the trick with games where it's not exactly 100% polished. Sorry, Stardock. You guys are like at 98% polished. So I don't know if because I said decide later if I just lost the potency of my choice because my approval should have just gone up by 50%. I should be at like 90% approval, and I'm not. Crap. Yeah, none of the worlds gained a 50% bonus. I don't know. Maybe it hasn't kicked in yet. Maybe it hasn't. Let's just work through this trade offer popping in. The you're here. Consider our offer. We are considering this trade. Here's what we had in mind. Asteroid mining? Really? No. I am not going to give them 2 technologies for 3 heliosaurs. I'm not aware that we need even a single heliosaur as far as I can tell. So we will reject that offer. We'll hit done. Because we created a practice civilization that's kind of poor at persuasion and diplomacies. I haven't really leaned into the trade window, diplomacy window too much yet. It's an avenue to learn about in the future. I always sit with time, 52 minutes. All right, we'll go for a bit more here. Another event, the Independent Survey Report unearthed Arnorian integrity device. An intriguing discovery has been made, a device from a long-gone Anor civilization. Its structure suggests it might be used to enhance the structural integrity of our fleet. I like that. Alternatively, its exotic materials could fetch a good price in the interstellar market. So, preserve and utilize. Gain a charge of the artifact, the Arnor Halo, which I believe gives you more hit points on an entire fleet. So you could stack up 10 ships in a fleet. You don't just use this on one ship. You could, but you wouldn't want to. And all the ships stir together. Or dismantle and trade. Disassemble, and we would get 100 treasury. No. We're definitely going to get the charge of the Arnor. Is they saying Arnor? Arnor. It's Arnor. I don't know what it is. Don't worry about it. All right, let's keep going. Hold on. We have an executive order available. Print money. We can't. As we were going through our approvals on the core worlds, you saw one of them was down at like 38%. One's at like 41, 42. We can't. We'd have full-on rebellion on our hands. It's already bleeding off our production, our research. We actually drastically need to find ways to improve the approval of all of our pops. It's actually crippling us to a great degree. We're roughly losing half of all of our production and research. So yeah, that's really bad actually. Maybe worth adjusting our tax rate. It's so bad. Okay, hold on. We have an idle ship real quick. The Independence, which we know is down here. Yeah, we'll just grab her and we'll send her after this close artifact. No reason not to do that. And I do want to look at the tax rate. If we drop to normal from medium, we're at plus 14 credits per month. That'll take us to 5, and it'll boost our approval to 55. I think I'm willing to do that for the time being. And let's look here at our civilization outputs. 33 for production. 29. So we gained 4 production. We gained 3 research. But we're losing 9 income. I think production research is always important at any stage of the game. But we're really trying to build up these colonies. Some of these colonies are kind of weak right now. And there's tons to develop. So yeah, I think maybe we drop the tax rate. If we're not going broke, we'll be okay. Let's do this. We'll hit done and we'll advance the turn. We'll watch real quickly. I see a pirate fleet out here. We'll take a look at that in a moment. Looks like our turn's rolled around, so let's see. Let's zoom in. What is this? Oh, God. This was the heavily defended precursor anomaly. It's essentially a... This anomaly... Let's see. Can we see what this is? This anomaly is a rare and powerful treasure for anyone that can deal with its powerful guardians. The ship here. This is the Taurus fleet. Not to be confused with the Taurians. As far as I can tell, it's sort of like a... artificial intelligence, like an automated defense thing. And this unit builds ship after ship after ship. Now, these are tiny fighters it's spitting out. But the fortress... Okay, look. The icons are the same. These are Sentinel drones, little tiny fighters. We could take those on. However, the fortress is the stationary anomaly. It's the red anomaly that we could go investigate, provided we conquer it. We have to destroy it. And this fortress is a beast. It has 42 attack, 116 defense, and 319 health. Yeah, this is a long way out till we'll have a fleet that can take this thing on. But for the time being, we want to avoid it. You fly your ship by that, it will destroy your ship outright. So, that being said, here is the victory. She is moving. We'll let her continue on. And we have an idle ship somewhere. Who's idle? A constructor. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. So here's our constructor. And we can build right where she's at. Yeah, let's do that. Now, the only other thing to consider with a ship like this is I could move her out here, harvest these resources, and extend my influence around her, the sphere of influence. Because remember, your star bases and your colonies are your influence sphere. So is that worth doing? How much movement does she have? Not much. Can we move through this cloud? Here, we're going to move a little bit. Oh, she could still build there. Okay. Can we move a little more? Yes, and she can. I'm looking at this. This icon's not grayed out. And we have one more move. Would we lose this guy though? Hold on. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's try it. Let's do one more. Yes. So, mother fudge. Okay, we're okay. Our ship survived, just barely. Okay. Okay. Hold on. So, priorities. As I talk, I can forget things. That's why I got to be a little cautious. So here we go. We have two things we got to take care of. First, you can see clearly the Illyrium line and the antimatter line are feeding in. We are going to build Starbase right here, right now, because we want it now. But the great thing about it is that it's going to push our bubble out a little bit. So, an unnatural glow fills the mining ship as it draws the first batch of this mysterious substance, Illyrium. It's a material that seems to amplify high-energy systems. It will be vital for high-energy beam weapons and certain domestic applications. This is a warship strategic weapon. We got it? Perfect. And unfortunately, we have no Starship modules, so we can't even get the mining drones, which would give us a plus 0.1 there. So we got to get Starship modules built. So yeah, there you go. That's done. Now, option 2 was to take care of our goddamn ship. So we flew within 1, 2, 3 hexes of this, and that thing fired off essentially a missile volley, for lack of a better word. Fortunately, the Victory is intact. She's not destroyed. So yeah, we're going to move her ass on out of there just right now. Thank you. Thank you so much. And then the Thea is one of our little probes. I believe she's just automated surveying the galaxy, just flying around willy-nilly. But that damn thing is going to destroy her. So I'm going to deliberately push her off. Shit, we'll push her off way this way. She has no moves left, so I'm hoping she'll escape before that thing toasts her. She's only got 3 hit points. Nothing I can do about that now. And then, That one of these ships had an upgrade. Yes, here we go. Here's the Independence. So again, Independence, tiny ship, a little bit of attack. What does the Independence need? Her movement is very high at 11. That's not bad. So I'm not going to beef her movement up. We've already talked about this need for better sensors. It's not that much to discover. So let's do crew quarters. Push that up. We got her to 17. How is 20% of 16 plus 1? What just happened there? I was expecting 2 or 3 hit points. All right. That sucks. I really don't know what's happening. I'm not going to overthink it. Weird. That's weird. That wasn't 20%. Okay, we've got our telescope takeover. We've got a considerable amount of control points. And we're generating 3 per month, which is a pretty good amount. We're rebuilding it quickly. We already know we don't want to print money. We have a cooldown of 22 months on the telescope takeover. Oh shit, we do want this. We do want to pressure scientists with a plus 50% research immediately. Yes, please. Now, what I want to make sure is that some of that 50 rolls over and hits into the next technology. I've never been exactly clear if you finish a technology, if it cuts off, but I think it always, from what I've seen, I have enough faith now that any excess dumps into the next tech. But we'll mess with it. We'll know if the progress bar in the next tech we choose goes up a little bit. So we'll hit yes. We're spending it. We immediately complete Space Doctrine because we've pressured our scientists. Space isn't just big, it's dangerous. This is doubly true if there are aliens trying to destroy our ships. Space Doctrine sets up a department in our government designed to organize both public and private industry to work together to ensure our civilization's survival. Our Space Doctrine. Here we go. We got quite a few cool things. The Siege ship I already told you about. That is just for conquering planets, but you need it. Frigate module. Special module required in order to enable frigate-class ships. Cool. Specifically, the frigate module is a class of ship. So I have been learning. Stardock is kind enough to do little articles on their game launcher. Their Stardock launcher, which lists all their games like Star Control and other things. Quite a few nice games they maintain. But they do link to little articles that their developers write. And I was reading just earlier today, actually, you have your size category, like tiny, small, medium, large, huge, whatever. You got a dreadnought, battleship. And then there's doctrines, I believe is what that is. And a doctrine is something like this frigate module. You notice that if we put a frigate module on, it's a plus 50% to accuracy on that ship. So, for example, I think you would take a small ship size. You'd say you're a frigate, because I put this frigate module on there, giving you plus 50% accuracy. And then part of the doctrine is that you choose your firing priority. Like I want, and I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's like fighters, frigates, battleships, dreadnoughts, or destroyers, I don't know exactly, cruisers. But it then, so you could have fighters that go dogfight the bombers. The bombers are targeting the battleships. Battleships are going to target the destroyers first. And it's not hard coded though. You set that up through ship design. Long story short, we've got a module that is specifically about improving accuracy. Cool. That's what a frigate means, is better accuracy. Okay, what else? Siege module. That is just the plus 25% siege bonus you put on a siege ship. I'm pretty sure those just come together, I think, automatically. We got this category small. Ideal hull size for smaller assault ships and escorts. This is a base of 8 hit points with a capacity of 18. I believe by capacity they mean mass? Because I only say that because the modules, many of them have a mass. So I guess capacity means you mass 18 tons, kilotons. I don't know. Capacity is cubic meters, 18 cubic meters. That'd be like the size of not even like my little craft office room here. That's not very much space. Tiny ship. What else we got? Starship Specifications Policy. So rush to create, it will always result in an inferior product. Time and craftsmanship will ensure the quality of our ships is second to none. Interesting. So minus 5% to manufacturing, but plus 20% to hit points on ships. Okay. And the max enacted policies +1. That's what we really wanted here. So we will hit choose new tech. And I'm going to be watching the progress bar of the tech we choose. I want to see if we get some spillover. Yeah. Okay. It's all good. You'll notice here in precursor studies, we still have that little dip into that guy. That's nice. I don't mind that at all. I don't read through all these every time, you know, and it's interesting because there are quite a few categories. You really could go for a militaristic playthrough. There's so much you could target into here between like planetary conquest, different types of missiles, beams, defensive stuff, armor, shields. You could dump a lot into your warships by both defense, offense, and planetary, militaristic. You can also go the money route. You can go, like here, obviously that's credits. You have other social resources, emissaries, Xeno Entertainment. This would get you more influence. There's a lot of ways to play the game. You can go for a manufacturing build, which would be all these hammer ones. You can go for research and science. And obviously, you can go down the biology route, although that's going to give you stuff like population growth, population cap, food, and being able to colonize more and more worlds. So, I don't know. Terraforming, I don't think we're ready for terraforming yet. Terraforming, in particular, would allow us to take a hex on our world that's, say, ocean and make it a land tile. But that's really, we have tons of hexes that are undeveloped yet. So terraforming can kind of be shoved down the road a little bit. You have to have a lot of surplus production to be like, hey, you know what? I have so little buildings to put in my build queue and hexes to improve. I'm going to spend some time to make more land out of the ocean. We're not there yet. So we'll let that go. Orbital assembly. This is interesting. We're talking about capacity and questioning what is capacity. Is that tonnage, mass, cubic yardage within, or cubic meters within the ship? I don't know. But look right here. Orbital ship assembly allows more efficient starship construction, increasing the capacity of each ship by 10%. That's interesting. That just means you can cram more modules, weapons, and armor on a ship. On every ship that you make. It's probably not retroactive, but yeah, every new ship design, it's not bad. Fuck. Pardon my language. I don't know exactly what to go for. You know, I think I want to go for subspace streaming specifically because our ships are pretty damn slow. Some of them are moving at 6-8 moves per turn per month. It's taking them a long time to scoot around. So let's go for that. And it'll just help us get our ships where we need them quicker. There you go. Boom. Done. Was there anything else we were missing? Get another turn or two in here. Trade offer popping up. Perhaps we can interest you in an aesthetically pleasing ordering of zeros and ones. Again, they're offering us the Helios ore, which we don't want. I'm not going to give you God of the Machine. Why do they need God of the Machine? Wait, I am going to give them God of the Machine? What? How? Are we synthetic? Shit. I don't think we're synthetic. Are we carbon-based? Why do we have this technology? Develop a theory of consciousness providing a device to increase your influence. Shit. I don't want to give that to you. No. I don't want them to Khazar's mainframe or planetary mainframe or upgrade research. No, screw you. And I'm not going to give you 140 credits. So we're going to reject that. I thought they would be the God in the Machine people. Little ghost in the shell. You guys know what I'm saying. You know. All right, goodbye. Next event here. TAS Explorer MO-1 survey report. Mysterious energy source. Your flagship detects an unusual energy signature coming from a nearby asteroid. Upon investigation, the crew finds a stable and potent energy source that can be harnessed to enhance the manufacturing of our planets. Yes, and please. Thank you. Utilize the energy source to temporarily increase manufacturing on our worlds, plus 5 manufacturing to all worlds for 15 months. F yes. Holy cows. Please tell me that worked. Because Alula Borealis is still sitting at 2 hammers. Oh my gosh, they got to fix that. We got to fix this so bad. Mysterious energy source. It's there. Okay. That's huge. That's huge. We want to get this built up as quick as we can. For the love of goodness. Okay. Check our shipyards real quick. Supply ship in 2 turns. Constructor in 6. Remember, we want that supply ship specifically for the galactic improvement we're building on Earth. And then one of our ships is ready for an upgrade. The Explorer. She's a 10-3. So the Explorer is an extremely small ship. I don't know that we could ever make her a warship. We have this conversation all the time. I know, so sorry. Let's get her. Gee, she's out there, right? This is her. Let's get her to the sensor range. She's going into the unknown. Yeah, this is one of the rare times where it's like, yeah, fuck it. +2 to sensor range. Sure, let's do it. Go for it, girl. So I see an Illyrium in the cloud. I see a control relic. That is not a heavily defended artifact. Now, build a xenoarchaeology module on the nearby starbase, and it will generate control. Oh gosh. That control literally is this control. So I would love a constructor to harvest the Illyrium and the control relic. Okay. What should we do with her? Let's send her to push back the fog. I know she could research an anomaly, but let's not sweat that. Let's push her this way. Ah, fuck. Ooh. Okay. Here there be dragons. You'll notice as you play your game, you have your sectors marked out. And obviously most of the games we're all going to be playing are going to have 2, 3, 4 more sectors. But what you're going to find is around the perimeter of almost every sector, you'll find pirates as well as space flora and fauna, space monsters, space dragons. So this is tricky because essentially what I'm doing is I'm pushing a very weak ship, very good ship, into this outlying territory. And look, we've already discovered an antimatter, but here is the Kratos nest. This nest is a shipyard. It's the mama creature, and she is spitting out asps. So yeah, and she's spitting out the Farithia fleet, and there's a bunch of them, and they got quite a few hit points. They could F us up. So we need to get this ship out of here in a hurry. I'm going to take her due south, celestial south. Listen, if these things detect and rush in, their move is only 3. Yeah, we may lose the Explorer. It just happens. I don't know if there's anything I can do at this point to save her. If they rush in, they're gonna take her out. We'll see. We'll see if we can outrun them. Okay, next. Empty policy slot. That's right. We unlocked a policy slot. So currently we're running Heart of the Empire, which I always recommend. That's 10% influence, 10% gross income, no detriment. It's always a good one. We're always going to have that locked in. We have economic development, which is +2 wealth per core world, and we're rocking 4 core worlds, so 8 extra wealth per month. That's really good. Over here are available policies. Experimental drives. That is just an exchange of hit points for movement. Not going to worry about that. Genius grants. This is a +1 research. Is that to scientists? Gives every core world an additional research point. So +1 research per core world, but at a -10% gross income. That's a pretty heavy tax. Land exploitation, that's trading extra income for a lot of extra pollution. No, thank you. Population boom. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Population group, 200% growth. Extra approval, but it's hitting you at a massive -25% gross income. That is really expensive. It's really expensive. Now, what if you were to slot that in, get the massive growth bonus, gain the approval, and increase your tax rate. Because you're gaining approval, driving up your tax rate will drive your approval down, kind of offsetting. So we went from a +4 to a -1. So that cost us 5 credits per month. Now, let's increase our tax rate. Ooh. Whoa. Well, that's not bad. +7? What the hell? What did we have in there? I can't even remember now, actually. Here, let's just take something that's not going to mess anything up. Here, let's take experimental drives and put them in because it doesn't mess with everything. Let's pull population boom out of there. Boom. So, click. Okay, check this out. We're at +14 credit, 44% approval. Boo, and we have no 100% bonus to our population growth, or 200%, whatever. It's a lot. 200%? I doubt it. But here we go. Check this out. Population boom into experimental drive. Pops us up to 56%. Drop that 14 to a 7. So still pretty good. And yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get that growth rate. I say that because our colonies are pretty new. If I jump into a Lula Borealis, she can handle 2 more pops. Earth can handle 2 more. Kratos 4 can handle 4 more. And Kratos 2 can handle 2 more. Yeah, let's do that. Let's grow that. And where would we see right here? So this is the population progress bar. You can see growth per month is sitting at a +5.93. Population boom, 200%. It is 200%. That's nice. Fertile is a +25%. Is that a trait we took? I think it was a species trait we took. Humans +2 because there's 2 humans doing the magic like they do. Don't need to tell you guys. And then obviously we're at a -28% because of pollution. But yeah, listen, this will grow us really, really quick. The trick will be to remember to come back in here and turn that off in about a year. We should be good. Now, let's jump back out of here. Where are we at? Hour and a quarter. It's probably a reasonable stopping place. Yeah. Let's stop there. We'll get back to it next weekend, folks. I hope everyone is enjoying the playthrough so far. I think there's a lot of room to grow. I mean, geez, there's the whole navigator species. We haven't even found them yet. I have no clue where these guys are at. But the Taurians are still whipping our butt. So yeah, we're trying to make a little come from behind. I looking here, though, I see that we're now first place approval. First on income, first on influence, first on production. That's probably from that +5 we got for like the 15 months. I'll take it. Second on research, second on military might. So yeah, we're growing well. And one other thing that I've completely forgotten about before we click off, our constructor. Jeez, is this thing... Oh, God. No, don't go by the heavily defended anomaly. Fudge. Just go. I'm trying to get that damn thing to those AMATs. All right. Yeah, I think that's enough for tonight, folks. If you watched, thank you so much. Take care. And if you have comments, questions, put them in the comments and questions. I am certainly learning a lot, and I hope I'm able to occasionally answer questions.